Hi YouTube, it's Brittany. I just wanted to talk today about clutter clearing and the impact that it's having on my life. A few months ago, I made some changes in my life, and I quit my job working at the library because I was vastly unhappy. My job there was just terrible. They treated me terribly, and I didn't like the people that I worked with, and it was just a bad situation. So I quit my job and I went back to school for digital forensics. Um, I've changed my career. I've changed boyfriends while I was at school. I've changed, bedrooms coming back home for Christmas break. And a lot of people have been telling me in my life recently that I need to figure out who I am. I guess because I've been making so many changes. But I didn't understand what they were talking about because I felt like I knew who I was. Like, I know that I like certain movies, or I know that I like, bands or books, or like I know that, my chosen religious path is Wicca, and I just want to kind of, do specific things with my life. So I felt like I had a strong sense of who I was because that wasn't really changing, in my relationships. That wasn't really changing in my friendships with people or with my family. Like, I was solidly the same person all the time. And I kind of have been that way for several years. I want to say about 10 years. I've kind of felt like I was the same person. But life has kind of knocked me on my ass recently with everything that has been going on with my life and all the changes that I've been making. And it just kind of hit me the other day because I'm moving into, my new room. Nothing is completely set up yet, but I'm hoping, to slowly work through that. But I was looking at my closet the other day, and I had brought all of my clothes in, and I was, hanging it up and putting it in my new dresser and, trying to find space for it in my room. But I was bothered by it because I kept looking at it going, there's too many clothes here. There's too much. Like, it was very, very difficult to deal with. So I would take it all out of my closet, and I would take it all out of my drawers, and I would just throw it on my bed. And I would stand there, and I would look at all of these piles and go, okay, all right, I've got to get rid of it. If you know anything about me, I am a notorious Goodwiller. Not that I shop there, but I give everything to Goodwill. Like, I've been known to give screwdrivers to Goodwill just to get it out of my room. My mom still won't let me forget that. But I was looking to weed down, my collection of clothing and to just kind of live a simpler life, because I've always kind of been infatuated with the idea of, okay, I'm going to pack everything that I need in a bag, and like that's going to be it. I'm just going to live my life out of a bag. And as crazy as it sounds, it made perfect sense to me, because I'm a person who is never in the same place. I am constantly moving between school and, boyfriend's house, friend's house, like being here, being there, like always on the go. So it doesn't make sense for me to have everything in a stagnant place when I'm always on the go, because 90% of the time I'm leaving 90% of my stuff home or, out of reach for me. So I wanted to be able to pack everything and just go whenever I needed. So I knew I had too much stuff, and I knew that I needed to get rid of, all of it. I want to get rid of all of it. And it sounds like a crazy dream, because who lives with nothing? Like, I just couldn't fathom that, especially because I am a notorious collector of things. Like, I collect books, I collect movies, I collect, collectibles. I have so much stuff. So I'm standing there in the middle of, looking at my clothing, going, oh, okay, I know I don't wear this shirt, or I know that, like, I only wear a few items. Like, I usually wear whatever's easily available, and that's it. Like, I don't really put much thought into how I dress. But I was, like, looking at all of this, and I would pick up, like, an Iron Man shirt or like a My Little Pony shirt or something, and I'd be like, okay, I can part with this. Like, I'm good with parting with this. So I'd pick it up and I'd put it in the bag. And a few minutes later, I would take it out of the bag, going, no, I need this because, you know, this represents who I am. This will tell the world, hey, I'm a nerdy person, or hey, like, I've got Southern roots, or I'm a classy dresser, or like, I'm somebody who wants to practice yoga all the time, or I'm somebody who lives like a holistic, like, spiritual lifestyle. All of these things that I wanted to create in myself. So I figured if I didn't have these items, I couldn't let people know who I was. And it hit me like a ton of bricks because I never made that connection before. Like, I always kind of thought about it, I guess, in the back of my mind, getting, you know, certain things like collectibles or something like that, where I was expressing to the world my love of this thing. And instead, I realized that the people who see the things that are in my life know those things about me. I was more worried about the people that I didn't know knowing those things about me. Even if, you know, that collectible just sat in my room all the time, and the people who didn't know me never saw my room. So I wanted to express it in my clothing. I wanted to feel nerdy by dressing nerdy, instead of just in my core being nerdy. So I never focused on, what am I trying to say here? I never focused on actually cultivating that in my life. I don't play video games. I like video games and I collect video game things because I want to express my love of video games. So instead of actually doing the thing, I focus on how I can represent that I aspire to do the things that I want to do with my life. I aspire to be pagan, so I'm going to collect all of these pagan books that, you know, I do read, but I don't need a bookshelf of that knowledge. What I need is that knowledge within myself. And this is something that has only really cropped up in the last, you know, day or two. But I was reading my Year in a Day teacher. She used to be Autumn Star Moon, and now it's the Lovely Little Witch. Her name is Kimmy. She runs a blog and a YouTube channel that you definitely should check out because she just has so much life and vibrancy and is just an amazing person that, you know, I aspire to be like because I feel like we're very similar and we're usually, you know, going through similar things. I was reading her blog posts about the fact that she was getting out of debt, and getting out of debt is something that she's struggled with for a long time. You can see it on her old YouTube channel. You see it, you know, now when she talks about the fact that, you know, she's finally gotten out of debt, and that, like, that's a huge accomplishment for her, and I'm so proud of her for that, because that's something that takes a lot of determination and a whole lifestyle change. But I was reading her blog posts about her being sick and about her, you know, transformation into learning about Wicca, and just kind of like really feeling it hit home for myself. Because I could see myself in the words that she was writing. I could pick points in my life where I knew that I was in the exact same spot that she was. Where you don't really realize that you have too much because you think that you have enough, and you feel like you're keeping up with the Joneses, and that I feel very much like that. I feel like I am not this, that, or the other thing if I don't represent that I'm this, that, or the other thing. Instead of sitting down and having a conversation with me, I feel like I need to bring it all to you. And I realize now that I don't feel comfortable with myself, and I don't accept myself in that way because I feel like I need those things as a crutch. But she was talking about reading a book that I'd read a couple months ago called Clutter Clearing with Feng Shui by Karen Kingston. I think that's what it's called. Where basically, you know, she looked up and she realized that she had 2 toothbrushes. And it's such a simple thing, like, you don't think about that, But when you see it and you start to notice even the little things, like, I can definitely see that in my own life. You don't realize that you have too much, or you don't realize why you're holding on to the things that you're holding on to, when in reality, you're very much becoming, as she calls it, a consumer and not a creator. And that's what I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to create things. I just never felt like I could. So I felt like I was taking the easy way out, and I was buying the things instead of doing the things. Or I would want to do yoga, so I would go buy 3 pairs of yoga pants. Or I would want to play video games, so instead of like going home and playing video games, I would either buy more video games, or I would buy things that are related to video games. Instead of being pagan, I would go buy pagan books. And I would start over on my path probably 20,000 times. I've been studying Wicca since I was 13 years old. So that's 10 years now. I'm now 23. And I feel like I am no further on the path than I was when I was 13 years old. And that's a problem. That's something that I want to fix in my life. So this year for me is all about overcoming those obstacles and realizing that I don't have to start over, and realizing that I just need to continue and stick to what I begin. So I just kind of wanted to make this video because I was reading her blog posts and I was in tears because I knew exactly how it felt to be at those moments, and I know how much of a struggle it is. Like, it's easy to say, okay, I understand why I'm holding on to this, or I understand, like, why I can't let this go. It's another thing to, okay, I'm going to transform this in my life, and I no longer need this item. It's huge. There's going to be a lot of tears. My room right now is a mess. Like, I'm looking around and there's stuff everywhere. And that was the other thing that hit me, was because there's not a lot of stuff everywhere, but I still feel like I'm suffocating in my room. Like, there's bookshelves on either side of me. The bookshelves, like this one over here, has a trash bag and some Goodwill stuff on it. I cleared that off, and there's nothing left on the bookshelf. There's a few books over here, a few little odds and ends that haven't been put away yet that just needed to get off the floor because I'm puppy sitting my friend's puppy right now, and he loves to chew everything up. So I'm getting that off the floor, but if I take it all off and I put it where it really needs to go, there's going to be nothing left on the bookshelves. My closet is filled with craft supplies that I do use. I make candles, and I was making soaps over the summer, and I plan on painting now, so I bought a few canvases, and, like, I have a sewing machine and everything. And I've got way too many clothes in my closet, but those are going to be going. I've got an entire shelf of collectibles that I'm probably going to donate or give to friends or just sell on eBay or something. But I need to get rid of them. I've got a third bookshelf that's sitting over there that is just entirely filled with my pants right now because I had no idea where to go with them. Probably 100% of those pants are getting put into a Goodwill bag, and I'm trying to get down to 4 pairs of pants. My goal is to get down to 14 shirts, so I have 1 shirt for 2 weeks. Because I'm going to be at school and laundry is expensive, so I can't do laundry every day. Or I'm hoping to get down to even less than that and to start wearing my clothes more often, because you don't need to wash clothing every time you wear them. I'm not doing things where I'm getting super dirty or where I'm soiling my clothes. So I feel like I can get away with washing them less and without them, like, smelling or, getting super dirty. So I'm really hoping to pare everything down, and it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of tears, and it's going to be a long, long journey, but I really just wanted to say thank you to Kimmy, because she is transforming my life in ways that I don't even think she realizes that she does, and I wanted to send a big thank you, because I know in starting my YouTube channel, I'm hoping to reach at least one person, and I want her to know that she's at least reached me, and you guys should definitely check her out. She's got an Etsy shop and a blog and a YouTube channel. She also is on Facebook, and I hope that her videos and that my videos can help you as much as they're helping me. So thank you, have a good day, and blessed be.